So a lot of you have probably heard the word the new day or the new awakening or the third day. I love that phrase, but I think a lot of people have a little bit of they're not clear on what it really means to walk in that new day or walk in that third day. And what I think is so awesome is Pastor Lauren's been so encouraging about like sticking with the promise that God has for us, no matter how long it's going to take or how many years, and how he got a word and he thought like, wow, that would be like crazy if it took like 20 years. And here he is 45 years later seeing this word come to pass. Well, I want to be here to encourage you about walking in this new day or this third day or this new awakening, because it's so awesome to see in the story of Abraham how clear it is that it's not only something that was attainable with Abraham, but it's also something that God is calling each and every one of us to. So I want to read a couple of scriptures with you in Genesis chapter 12. It says, "Now the Lord had said to Abram, get out of your country and from your family and from your father's house to a land I will show you, and I will make you a great nation. I will bless you, and I'll make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you. I will curse him who curses you. And in you, all the families of the earth shall be blessed." I thought Pastor Lauren really broke this down super well on Sunday. And also, I made some notes in my Bible to go along with it to kind of make it clear. So when we're talking about the first day versus the second day versus the third day, we're not getting so caught up in trying to understand it, because it honestly is a super simple concept. So if you would like to take notes, Genesis 12, it's the story about Abram. And when God comes to him, he names three different things. The first thing he says is, get out of your country and your family, and he gives him direction. So it goes to show that Abram, at the time, that was his name, he's going to walk in obedience. That's the first level of our relationship with God. When you come to God, you realize that there's a little bit that you're going to have to get used to. And the relationship sort of starts out just like you would as a child when you have to listen to your parents and walk in that obedience. So Abraham walked in that obedience. Moving on to the second day, it then said, and I will bless you. That's when you start realizing the walk with God has so many benefits. And God's not shy about that. He wants you to know that when you walk in his plans and his purposes, there's a blessing that comes with it. So we start the first day in obedience. The second day, we move into really having that blessing of the Lord upon us. And it's an awesome blessing. But then that's where God talks about this third day. It says, not only will I bless you, but I will make you a blessing. And I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. So we have to understand that the third day, it's not just about us and God blessing us and all the benefits that we have when we serve God, but it takes ourselves beyond ourselves. You know, I love that phrase, love God, love people. It takes us beyond ourselves and says, not only do I want to be blessed, but God said he's going to pour on you such a blessing that there's not going to be room enough to receive it. So a lot of times selfishly thinking, it's like, well, you pour out such a blessing, there's not room enough to receive it. What do I do with it? Well, when you're selfish, you're going to think of a blessing like that. But when you're God focused and your focus is on God, which makes your focus on people, you realize that he's going to bless you so much that you're going to have something to pour out and give to other people. And that's the third day that God is really calling all of us to walk in. It's not a place of immaturity that says, I have to walk in obedience. God, what do I have to do to serve you? Or God, what I have to do to get into heaven? And it's not a place of immaturity that says, well, I'm just in here for the blessings. But it's this place of maturity that God has called us to that says, I'm going to go beyond myself and I'm going to have so much blessing that I'm able to pour that out to other people. And you see that in the story of Abraham. When God calls him Abram and he moves his name to Abraham, he says, I'm not only going to just bless you, but in that blessing to other people, I'm going to expand you. And again, we know that sometimes in that time of expansion, there's a struggle that happens, or there's a stretching that happens, or there's a refining that happens. But in those struggles and in that stretching and in that refining, that's when we get to that third day that we're able to be a blessing to other people. And it's in that third day that God's going to expand you, and he's going to expand your ministry, and he's going to expand your call. And when you come to that expansion, it's then that we're able to walk in the fullness that God has called for each and every one of us. So I just want to encourage you, read the story of Abraham, go to Genesis chapter 12 and read that and see how God is calling you not only to walk in obedience and not only to be blessed, but that you too can also walk in that maturity where you too can become a blessing to other people.